Welcome to my channel. Let me show you how to solve this question on the board. Now look at what you are given. You're going to have 2 raised to what x minus what 1 equal what 3x plus what 1. And we are expected to find the value of x. Our first step, what you're going to do is to call this what equation 1. So the exponent here is x minus 1. So we are not wrong in any way, okay? We can let the exponent, which is what x minus 1, to represent any variables of our choice. Why? Because this question is a critical question. It's not a question we just jump up and solve. You have to do some manipulation, okay? Now, I say let s minus 1 equals to what p. You can call this equation 2. There's nothing bad with it. So from equation 2, let's make s the subject of the formula. For us to make s the subject of the formula, we have to add 1 to both sides of the equation. That means s is equals to what p plus what 1. You can call this equation equation 3. Okay? Now let's substitute equation 3 into equation 1. So look at in equation 1 is what 2 raised to what x minus 1. So look at this is 2 raised to what p, because x minus 1 represents what p from equation 2. Then equal what 3 into what p plus what 1, then plus what 1. Because equation 3 is what s equals to what p plus 1. So we substitute p plus 1 into in place of x here. So they say that 2 raised to what p is equal what 3 times p is 3p, 3 times 1 is what 3 plus what 1, and 3 plus 1 is 4, right? So they say that 2 raised to what p is equal to what 3p plus what plus 1, because 3 plus 1 is what is 4. Wow, this is interesting, right? Now what we're going to do now is to subtract 3p from both sides of the equation. So if we do that, we're going to see that 2 raised to what p minus what 3p is equals to what 4. Wow, this is an interesting question, right? Now that means 2 raised to p minus 3p is equals to, do you know 4 times 2 is 4, 4 times 1 is 4. Do you know I can write 4 as 4 multiplied by what? 4 multiplied by 1. 4 multiplied by 1. 4 multiplied by 1 simply means 4. For those of you watching this video, will be asking that why is it that I'm using 4 multiplied by 1 instead of 4 multiplied by 2? Because I know it's only 4 multiplied by, it's only 2 multiplied by 2 or 4 multiplied by 1 will give us 4. But most people will be asking that why is it that I'm using 4 multiplied by 1 instead of what? 2 multiplied by 2. The reason why I'm using 4 multiplied by 1 is because I have told you earlier that this question, we are going to use it based on what? Manipulation. And the manipulation is always, manipulation is always a given direct to a given question. Because given a certain question, if you don't do any manipulation, that question cannot be solved. So that is the reason why we are using what? 4 times what? 1. And nothing changed. Yes, nothing changed. Because we know that 4 times 1 is 2. 4 times 1 is 4. For those of you that will be asking in the comment section, why is it that we are using 4 times 1? That means 2 raised to what p minus what 3p is equals to what? Now 4 into, in place of this 1 you are seeing. Now look at where the 3 is coming now. In place of this 1 we are seeing, we are not wrong if we decide to write it as what? 4 minus 3. Because 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay? So that means 2 raised to what p minus 3p is equals to 4 times 4 simply means 4 into 4. 4 times minus 3 simply means minus 3 into 4. Okay? Now, at this point, what you're going to do, that means 2 raised to what p minus what 3p is equal what? Is equal 4 times 4 will give us 16 minus what 3 into what 4. Smart student will know the answer to this question from here. If you are very smart, you know the answer, right? Now, let's compare the left hand side with the right hand side. The left hand side here is 2 raised to p minus 3p equal what? 16 minus what? 3 into 4. Here we are having minus 3p, here we are having minus 3 into 4. You see? But the exponent here is p, and here we are having minus 3p. That means, what will be the exponents here? How are we going to raise 16 in an exponential form? And the power must be 4, because if the power is 4, that means p is equals to 4. Now let's not play some sarcastic. You know that 16 can be expressed in index form as what? 2 raised to 4 or 4 raised to 2, right? So we are not wrong And we are also interested in writing this 16 as what? 2 raised to what? 4. That means 2 raised to p minus 3p is equals to 2 raised to what? 4 minus 3 into what? 4. This is why I say this question, you can also use your what? Manipulation to solve it. And you are not wrong. Look at what you have done here. We are not wrong in any way. We are not wrong, okay? Now, at this point, we are going to compare the left-hand side with the right-hand side, okay? Now, looking at this, you can see that minus 3p is equals to minus into 4. And p raised to power of p, 2 raised to power of p is equals to 2 raised to power of 4. That means 2 raised to power of p, 2 raised to power of p is equals to what? 2 raised to power of what? 4. This implies that p is equals to what? 4 by equating the powers. Wow, this is Procedurians, right? Amazing, right? But remember, this question did not ask us to find the value of p. This question asks us to find the value of x. Let's recall something very interesting. Recall that from equation what? From equation what? Equation 3. Equation 3 said that x is equals to p plus what? 1. As you can see here. And we're going to that p is 4. That means s is equals to p plus what? Sorry. 4 plus what? 4 plus 1. And 4 plus 1 simply means that s is equals to what? 5. This is the value of x to this question. Now let me ask you a question in this video. Apart from this method you are seeing here, is there any other method we can use to solve this question? If there's any method, you can also drop in the comment section. Or if you have another alternative, you also drop in the comment section. You don't hesitate to drop in the comment section. Also share the video to a lot more so others will learn from it. At this point, if s is equals to 5, if we do a substitution, we're going to see that if s is 5, 5 minus 1 is 4, and 4 raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of 4 is 16. And if here is 5, 3 times 5 is 15. Okay? 3 times 5 is 15. 15 plus 1 is 16. So it's equal. So we agree by 100% that s is equals to what? 5. But you know, apart from doing this, there's another amazing method we can use to solve this question. Because I know this question has to do with what? Exponential and what? Linear. And if you are talking about exponential and linear, exponential have its own graph and linear have its own graph. That shows that this question has two values of x. This is one of the value of x. Then what about the other value of s? How are you going to know it? You are going to know it if you apply the properties of what? Lambda what? W what? Function. Remember that the properties of lambda W function always talk about the product of what? Logarithm. What are we going to do? Put in head that s is equals to what? 5. But is it that s equals to 5 is the only solution? No. There's another solution to this question because this has to do with what? Exponent and linear. We are getting that s is equals to 5. What about the other values of s? If you're talking about what? Exponential, or you're talking about what? Linear. Wow, this is interesting, right? So permit me to remove this from here. Okay, from here you can do something very interesting. Okay, so I want to show you an amazing method you can use to solve this question. But I want you to also know that the value of x is 5, but there's another solution to this question. Okay, now at this point what you're going to do is to divide both sides by 2 raised to p and divide the other by 2 raised to what? P. So this divide itself is just 1 equals to. Now if you play with the properties of indices, look at indices. Properties of indices are very important in terms of what? Mathematics, because it enable us to apply or to play with the equation. Do you know that I can play with this equation you are seeing, this expression? I can write this expression as into 3p plus what? 4, then multiply by 2 raised to what? Minus what? P. There's nothing wrong with it, because by obeying the properties of indices, that 2 raised to the power minus p can also be seen as what? 1 divided by what? 2 raised to what? P. Wow. At this point, what are we going to do? Now, I want the p, the equation of p here is 3. I want p to be what? Unity. And for me to do that, there's no common factors that I can factorize, but that is why I say mathematics also work with what? Logic and what? Manipulation. If you can know how to manipulate, you can solve some homogeneous question. Because this is one of the homogeneous questions here, okay? Now I want to see that 1 is equal to what? 3 into p plus 4 divided by 3. then multiply by 2 raised to what minus what p. Because 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by p is 3p, and 3 multiplied by 4 over 3 will give us 4. Because 3 will cancel out 3, we are left with 4. Can you see how simple it is? Now, at this point, what you're going to do is to divide, is to look out. Now we are making p the unity, but the p here is minus p. So I want also this p to be minus p. What I'm going to do, I can also apply what manipulation, right? So that means 1 is equals to minus 3 into what minus p plus minus 4 divided by 3, then multiply by 2 raised to what minus what p. Because minus 3 times minus p, it will give us 3p, which is take us back to the main thing we have here. Minus 3 times minus 4 divided by 3 will give us 4. Because minus times minus is plus. What an interesting question, right? So at this point, let's divide both sides by minus 3. If we do that, without that, minus 1 divided by 3 is equals to into minus p minus 4 divided by 3. Then multiply by 2 raised to what minus what p. Wow. Do you know where we are going? I told you earlier that this question have two solutions. We know that x is 5. Then what about the other solution? That's what you are looking for. Okay? Now, at this point, what you are going to do, okay? Now, at this point, you see that we want what is inside the parenthesis to become the exponent here. Because there's one thing we are trying to do, apply the Lambda-Wadolu function. And for you to achieve this, because what is inside the parenthesis here is minus p minus 4 divided by 3, right? And we want it to be the exponent here also. For us to achieve this, what you have to do is very simple. Just multiply both equations by what 2 raised to the power of what minus 4 divided by 3. And you are done. So that means minus 1 divided by 3 multiplied by 2 raised to what minus 4 divided by 3 is equal what into minus p minus 4 divided by 3, then multiply by what 2 raised to what minus p multiplied by 2 raised to the power minus 4 divided by 3. The only thing we do here is to just to do what multiply both equations by what by 2 raised to the power of what minus what 4 divided by what 3. Now by obeying the properties of indices, we can write this as minus 1 divided by 3, then multiply by 1 divided by into the cube root of what 2 all raised to what 4. Because we simplify this. If you simplify this, we are going to have this. So this will be equals to equal what into minus p minus 4 divided by 3, then multiply by 2 raised to what. Now let's obey the properties of indices here. Since the bases are the same, we can take a single base and add the exponents, right? So we take a single base and we have what minus 4 divided by 3 minus what p. Wow. Now this and this are equal. They are equal, right? So that means multiply this, have minus 1 divided by 3 multiplied by the cube root of what 2 all raised to 4 is equals to into minus 4 divided by 3 minus p is the same thing multiplied by 2 raised to what minus 4 divided by 3 minus what p. Wow, you can see that this and this are the same. Since they are the same, we are going to show you another interesting thing we are going to do here. Remember, by one of the properties of logarithm, that e raised to the power of what a is equals to what a. So we are not wrong if you decide to write this in this form. We are not wrong. And most of you watching this video will be asking that why is it that we are introducing natural logarithm in this question? Because for a set of questions to be solved, there are some properties you have to apply or abide by so that a certain question can be solved. If all this I'm doing is not into this question, that means this question will not lead us to a solution. So doing all this you are seeing is for a way for us to look for the value of x, right? So don't be scared. So we are not wrong if you decide to write this as minus 1 divided by 3 multiplied by 3, the cube root of what 2 all raised to 4 is equals to into minus 4 divided by 3 minus p, then multiply by 2 raised to what into minus 4 divided by 3 minus p, then multiply by natural logarithm of what 2. Wow, this is amazing because this thing you are seeing was the exponent here. So I just brought it back immediately because I applied the law. Now at this point, what are we going to do? Remember that the w function of into a multiplied by e raised to a is equal to what a, right? Now this is true. Wow, it's interesting, right? Now e you are seeing here is e we are having here. A you are seeing here represent all what is here. But look at one of the interesting things here. If a here represent all what is here, that means a here is not the same as what is here. So what are we going to do so that because the a are equal, they are the same. and this are not the same. For us to achieve this thing you're seeing at this point, what you have to do is to multiply both equation by what? Natural logarithm of what? 2. Okay, so let's remove this from here quickly. If you do that, we want to multiply both sides, so we want to have minus natural logarithm of 2 divided by 3 into the cube root of 2 all raised to 4 is equals to into minus 4 divided by 3 minus y minus p multiplied by natural logarithm of 2, then multiply by e raised to what? Into minus 4 divided by 3 minus p, then multiply by what? Natural logarithm of what? 2. Wow, this is amazing. Now you can see that they are equal, they are the same. At this point, you can apply what? The Lambda W function at what? At both sides. Because we know that the W function of into a multiplied by e raised to a is equals to what? A. Put this down. It's very, very what important. It's one of the fundamental principle of what? Lambda what? W what? Function. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah. So let me remove this from here quickly. Okay. Now at this point, what you are going to do, you want to apply it. But I'm not going to apply this here because I know by obeying this, I know what I'm going to have here because there's no space here. So that means the lambda W function of minus ln 2 or natural logarithm of 2 divided by 3 multiplied by into cube root of 2 all raised to 4 is equals to what? Is equals to just one of this, which is what? Into minus 4 divided by 3 minus p multiplied by natural logarithm of what? 2. That will just be the outcome. If you take the lambda W function of both sides here, one of this will be the outcome, as you can see here by obeying this property. Look at this property very carefully. If you apply the lambda W function of this function, you have a. So if you apply it here, you don't have one of this. That's what I'm having here. Okay. Now let's divide both sides by ln 2 and divide the whole of this by 1 ln 2 or natural logarithm of 2, so that this can cancel out this. That means minus 4 divided by 3 minus p is equals to the W function of into minus natural logarithm of 2 divided by 3 multiplied by the cube root of 2 all raised to what? 4 all divided by 1 natural logarithm of what? 2. Wow, it's interesting, right? Alright, at this point, what you're going to do, you're going to look for p, because if you can know the value of p, you're going to know the value of what? X, right? Now at this point, what you're going to do is to add 4 over 3 to both sides of the equation. If we do that, we're going to see that minus p is equal what? The W function of into minus natural logarithm of 2 divided by 3 into 3 root what? Cube root of 2 all raised to 4, then divided by what? Natural logarithm of 2 plus what? 3 over what? 4. Because we added what? 3 over 4 to both sides of the what? Equation. So let's take our LCM. Okay. Wow, this is an amazing question, right? Now, I know for those of you watching this video here, thank you so much for watching the video to this extent. You know, this question is so humongous, it's so big, okay? And we are looking for a way so that we can, you know, solve this question. So also share it to loved ones or others who learn from this. You know, it's an amazing solution. Because most people will say that this question does not have a definite solution, they don't have a proper way of solving. I'll show you have a proper way of solving it, okay? Now at this point, let's take the LCM. So minus p is equals to the, what is our LCM? Okay, let me use here new here with the space. So minus p is equals to, what is our LCM? Our LCM will be ln 2 times 4. That's our LCM. So become 4 ln what? Ln 2. That's our LCM. Now if we divide 4 ln 2, so 4 natural logarithm of 2 by natural logarithm of 2, we are going to have 4, right? Sorry, not this is minus 4. Sorry. You can see yes, so it will be, sorry for that, but if we 4 over 3, sorry. Sorry for that, okay? Thank you. Now this is the LCM. Now if you divide this by this, we are going to have 3. So that 3 will multiply by this. So that this is 3, the W function of into minus ln 2 divided by 3 multiplied by cube root of what? 2 all raised to 4, right? Then plus, if you divide this by this, you're going to have ln 2. Ln 2 times 4. That 4 ln 2 or 4 natural logarithm of what? 2. Now remember, this is, we are not asked to look for minus. We are not asked to look for minus what? Minus p. And then this video have exceeds 20 minutes, right? Or up to 20 minutes. So the video, you can see that the equation is so humongous, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop here in this video. But just know that for you to have the value of p here, is just to add, multiply both sides by -1. That means p will be equals to -3, the derivative function of into minus natural log of 2 divided by 3 into the cube root of what 2 all raised to what 4. Then what? -4 natural log of what 2 all divided by what 3 link what link 2. This is the value of p. And for us to have s from equation, that means s will be equals to, look at p here, substitute this to now see that -3, the derivative function of into minus natural log of 2 divided by 3 into cube root of 2 all raised to 4, then minus what 4 natural log of what 2 all divided by 3 then what then 2, then plus 1, just add 1 to it, and this is another value of x to this question. Can you see how simple and interesting it is?